In the late summer of 1297, when the mists curled like pale wraiths over the glens, and the heather bloomed purple on the braes, Robert Campbell rode south from his family's ancestral lands near Loch Loch. He was 24, broad-shouldered and quick of mind, with hair dark as raven's wings and a gaze that could steady the trembling hearts of men or melt the resolve of any lass he chanced to meet. Though the blood of chieftains coursed through his veins, Robert's heart belonged not to lands or title, but to the cause of Scotland's freedom. England's yoke had grown too heavy to bear, and the tales of William Wallace, his defiance, his courage, his refusal to kneel kindled a righteous fire in Robert's soul. He joined Wallace's host on the eve of Stirling Bridge. Beneath the tattered blue and white saltire, Robert swore fealty. "As long as blood beats in this breast, I shall fight for Scotland's liberty." That night, the campfires stretched like constellations upon the earth. Men from every shire gathered, their voices lifted in ballads of ancient heroes, of Bruce and Mac Alpin, of Fergus and Kenneth. In this fellowship, Robert felt himself woven into the tapestry of something greater than any man alone. At dawn, the English army advanced proud in the gleaming mail, banners snapping in the wind. But Wallace's cunning turned their might against them. The bridge became a bottleneck of slaughter. Robert fought at Wallace's side, his claymore whistling in deadly arcs. He remembered the face of a young English knight who met his blade, just a boy with fear-stricken eyes, and for the rest of his days, Robert carried that memory like a thorn in his conscience. When the battle was won and the English driven into the river's murky depths, Robert's name was spoken with respect. But it was not victory alone that would mark his fate. For among the wounded was Lady Elspeth MacLaren, daughter of a lowland laird who had dared defy Edward's governors. She had come as a messenger, she claimed, but some whispered she was a spy. Robert carried her from the field himself, her hair spilling over his arms like spun gold. In the nights that followed, as she healed in the makeshift infirmary, he would visit her. She did not flinch from the sight of his bloodied mail or the bruises upon his face. They spoke of freedom, of the ancient laws of Scotland, and of a future new the day or two would come to pass. One evening, as the camp lay still and a soft rain fell over the banners, Robert found Elspeth standing alone by the river bank. He stepped to her side, uncertain of his place in her heart. "Will you think me a fool?" he asked, "if I say I would trade every battle yet to come for 1 hour's peace beside you?" Her eyes shone, dark and fierce. "I would call you honest, Robert Campbell, and no man ever won my favour with less." In the months that followed, Robert fought in raids across the lowlands. He rode with Wallace into the high passes of the north, rallying clans to the cause. He saw men made legends and legends cut down. Each victory brought England's wrath. Each defeat carried the weight of a people's hopes. Through it all, he kept Elspeth's ribbon tied at his wrist, a talisman against despair. When Wallace was betrayed and captured, Robert slipped into hiding among the hills of Argyll, sheltering wounded comrades and planning fresh rebellions. On the eve of Wallace's execution, Robert knelt in the heather and swore that Scotland's spirit would never die, though it be trampled, starved, or chained. Years later, when Robert Bruce rose to claim the crown, Robert Campbell rode once more to war, older, graver, but unbroken, and at his side always rode Elspeth, now his wife, whose courage equalled any warrior's. They would not see the final victory at Bannockburn with their own eyes, but their children would, and when Scotland at last stood free, balladeers would sing of the great and the humble, of the martyrs and the survivors. Among their verses echoed the name of Robert Campbell, whose love for country and for one woman proved stronger than any English blade.